The following Defending Our America episode is presented without commercial interruption by Sig Sauer.
Over 150 police officers were in this scenario that we did. We did it pro bono for the state police in a certain state. The school has basically said, do whatever you want with our school. I want all the teachers to stay as an in-service day, so they're going to go through the exercise. Give me 5 or 6 trained guys to do a shooting at this school. I'm like, we're going to run this just like it's a hit. We're going to give these guys a real look. We're going to have simulated explosives. We're going to have simulated traps. And I'm telling you, we killed probably 50 cops. Like, they would be crushed. This is the state police. We were the first ones who did a jihadist cell. Not a disgruntled kid who grabs his grandpa's gun and comes. This is like, we are tripwires. We have IEDs, we're stopping people. I mean, they're doing stuff, and we're setting up with long guns on hallways, and the cops are coming through with their pistols, and it's bad. Afterwards, we debrief everyone. We all meet in the cafeteria. There's 150 cops in there. They all got their head in their hand, and they're feeling bad about what's going on. And I'm talking to them, and I'm like, you guys know that this is a reality. Like, maybe you think we're mudsucking you, and we're doing some stuff, but you know, we just put this all together last night. You know, and so we're not doing anything outside the scope of what can really happen here. It's just that it hasn't happened yet.
Prior to his going for a swim, Osama bin Laden very clearly said that soft targets should be considered by Al-Qaeda. And by soft targets, he meant shopping malls, maybe football stadiums, I mean, you name it. Those are the types of targets that present the least difficulty. Right now, anyway, they present the highest level of opportunity for success, and for them to create the most carnage and death, and subsequently gather the most, news media exposure, which is part of their goal.
We see a bunch of active shooter kids. As soon as the cops show up, they shoot themselves. That's not very hard for someone to deal with. Now you have a trained terrorist cell with rifles. They know you're coming. They've already planned how you'll make entry, what you'll do. And if I know that, you're done. We have not put law enforcement in a position where they are going to win. We put them in a very hard position. There are ways to set them up in a much better position. There are ways to fix it. But until an incident happens, we won't fix it. That's not how we work.
I believe these attacks are going to start coming more and more frequently. Over the last several years, we've had several attempts. Most of them failed. We've had a couple of successes on the parts of the bad guys, including the Boston Marathon bombing. But I think we're going to see more and more soft targets like the Marathon, where you have thousands of people gathered, totally unprotected, out in the open, and it could be catastrophic.
We're unprepared for it. The soft targets in this country are still soft targets, even after all of the warnings that they've been given, all of the information that's come out since 9/11 about the potential for these types of incidents. I have offered to give a terrorism briefing to different entities in this area, and there's no interest. They just, we don't need it, because in America we've got this head in the sand attitude that all that stuff happens overseas. 9/11 was an aberration, okay? Oklahoma City, well, that was one nutcase, People in this country don't understand that we've got Islamic terrorists operating right inside this country. We've got other domestic terrorist organizations that are willing and able to conduct an attack of that nature, and they've exhibited it.
Picture your small town with a car bomb explosion. When's the last time that happened? Country fed somewhere USA, and a car bomb goes off. So your one officer goes and responds to that car bomb. Now there's small arms fire in the school. Holy shit, small arms fire in the school. Call the county police, the 4 of them that are working. Oh, except for now, they're at the mall shooting. They're at the mall shooting. We'll call the state police. You know, the 3 state police officers for the 200 miles. I got a friend that's a Mississippi State Police officer, and he's on the tactics team. And he patrols 200 square miles by himself, and he relies on all these small towns. So now they're shooting at the mall. There's a car bomb explosion here. There's small arms fire in our schools. Who's going to respond to that? Who's going to deal with that? I'm really hoping that any citizen that has a gun in their house will respond to their school and save their children. But that's a terrorist attack that we're waiting for.
And to be prepared for that, you need to be vigilant. You need to back your military, back your police, and ask for information. We'll tell you what's going on. Ask us, what's going on? What can I do to make my community more safe? What can I do to be a better American? Can we go back to JFK, where people ask what can they do for their country? That's where we need to be. When Americans as a whole start saying, what can we do to better this country, and stop being a silent majority and start being vocal and saying, this is what we want as Americans. Not what politicians are telling us we want. This is what we want, and that'll get us moving forward, I think.